Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour, where we've already boomered this immensely because I was trying to set up the stream natively on locals. And guess what? It's not showing up. So let's try to see if this will work.
It's working over on X. Look at that.
Is it really?
Good evening, Sultan.
Mashallah.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Jay, we actually have been blessed with someone who has been MIA for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
And basically they called out sick for the last 4 or 5 months. And this motherfucker decides to come back and make his return. And that is our producer, Spencer Sachs. Spencer, get in here. Say hello.
Hello.
You're fucking fired. Get out of here. Pack your shit. This is what happens when you have attendance go off. This is terrible. Wow, we got a good chunk.
He went over to you know what he did? He went onto the call. He heard the Jewish horn. He went over to Israel. Picked up arms.
He did. He heard the Jewish. He heard the Jewish horn. I believe it's called a shofar, Jay.
A shofar?
A shofar. Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yes, he just got back from his tour in Gaza. And how many civilians did you kill there, Spencer? And by civilians, I mean Hamas operatives in baby outfits.
It's really funny. It's really sad because they do dress them up in Hamas outfits with grenades and guns and put them all around them and shit. Nice.
Spencer, 69. Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice, Spencer.
I don't know what happened, honestly, to our locals live stream. I'm gonna try to go ahead and patch it up. So bear with me. While Jay, you pull up that first story, all right?
All right. So the first story is...
Wait, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Cock?
Yeah, we're talking about the Caucus because we had a locals live stream over the weekend and we sat in our favorite corner with our favorite chairs to watch the Caucus in Iowa, and it was pretty surprising. I want to say it didn't go exactly as I thought it would go. Well, as like, you know, how dominant Trump was with the with his win in Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Iowa.
Allahu Akbar. So it was because we were watching the games as well. So it kind of shocked us. We were watching the polls close, and literally 15 minutes afterwards they called it for Trump. Every outlet called it for Trump, even while people were still doing their speeches. While some people still didn't vote, they automatically called it for Trump, and he had a very dominant lead. I think he ended it with 52%, 21% to DeSantis, 19% to Haley, and Vivek came in, I think, with like 8%.
Yeah, 7 or 8%. In terms of disappointment for how disappointed do you think Vivek's parents are for finishing last place?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be walking in saying, "Look, I finished third. You know, that's like a C." And as a son of an immigrant parent from that part of the world,
literally both Indians, Jay. Both Indians finished last.
That's a belt. That's what that is. That's a belt.
That is.
And Haley,
that's not just a belt. That's being locked in the dungeon in the basement, Jay.
Oh yeah. Well, he got a D, so that's disownment. He's disowned. I mean, it's worse than coming out as gay to your parents.
or coming out as not a doctor to your parents. That I think that is worse.
That is pretty bad. That is
Habibis were pretty sure that well, interestingly enough, not everyone got done voting before they called the race. So the AP and who else? I think it was NBC. They all called it in favor of Trump. Of course, like he actually won the Iowa caucuses by a large margin. But normally you should let the polls close. Should you not?
yeah, usually you should wait until you have enough people voting, actually casting their vote before you just go ahead and call it. But it wasn't gonna change the result at all. So we're probably going to be seeing our new comeback nominated president, and somebody made a really nice a victory video for him with his favorite supporter.
Flames reaching high up like branches. Fearless, I won't rise up from the ashes. I see the look in their eyes when they hear my name. Thought it was legend, I'm back wild, unrestrained. All the secrets and madness laid bare in the light. The castles burn.
So basically, Trump owes all of his success to Loomer.
Alhamdulillah. Wait, who made that video?
I think it's just some random follower. It was
who has time
Joshua
to make those types of videos for
replying to Loomer.
What?
It's one of Loomer's super followers.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is like a Habibi.
Yeah.
But for Loomer.
It's so really nice to see a president that is supporting the trans community the way that he has with Loomer.
It's beautiful, honestly. So she also got a what's it called? She got a if I'm not mistaken, a marriage proposal. Am I right?
Yes. I think that's what happened. There was a post where she was in the hotel where Trump was staying, out in the sideline behind the barricade, just waving to Trump. While Trump completely ignored her, walked in, and then somebody proposed to her.
That's is it safe to say that love is dead?
Love is dead.
Or no, it's very much alive.
He's just gonna have to settle for always being number 2 in her heart, because the number 1 in her heart is Trump.
It's tough. That honestly, it sucks for any man that ends up with her. I pray for them.
Well, they're gonna have to enjoy sucking dick, that's for sure.
Okay, so quick programming note to all the Habibis who are trying to watch on locals. I ended up shutting down the stream, and I just started a non-pores chat over there. So if you really want to go ahead and jump in the non-pores chat, it's just hit refresh, exit the stream, hit refresh. And if you're listening to this or watching this on the replay, just forget anything I said about locals. Just know that Jay and I are a couple of boomers. We tried doing this experiment where we broadcast as many destinations as we possibly could. We're live on Rumble. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, my grandma's Facebook, X, both X accounts, And
Oh
yeah.
wait, does your mom follow it on Facebook? Because it would be great if she would watch
I don't think so. I don't think
our
so.
show for the very first time.
I don't know. I
And
can't say for sure.
And I was talking about sucking trans dick. That would be amazing.
It is honestly, Jay. This is a very it's an accepting community of people who just want you to be happy. And
Love is love.
suck some trans dick.
Love is love.
So now that we're finally like on the road here, it's been a quite a explosive 24 hours with Iowa. First of all, Trump wins. Vivek bows out and endorses Trump.
Shocking. I was not seeing that happen. Wow. That was a shocker.
What we got here? This is Babylon B. See, this is what happens when you actually have a competent producer, Ben. Babylon B posts this. Trump promises Vivek an administration position running the White House 7-Eleven. Jesus Christ.
This is a top-notch fucking headline from the Babylon B. They got a lot of shit for it because, I don't know, there's really some Vivek simps out there. But I thought that was top-notch.
I met Vivek a year and a half or so ago, and I thought he was a fairly nice guy. We follow each other on Twitter. I don't know if that's like a flex or anything, but
but you had to mention it. But you had to say it.
But I had to mention it because like I had at least been following him when he was just a published author, not a presidential candidate. I have refrained from commenting a lot on the 2024 presidential cycle, simply because I'm not really in a good position to comment on it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm like dealing with these people every day, and there's just like anything I could say just would fuck everything right up. So I kept a lot of my commentary reserved. So what I did was I shut myself off and just didn't follow any politics. And honestly, Jay, probably one of the best fucking decisions I've ever done. I just let you get mad all the time and rant, which actually is great enough for the show because the Habibis really just live for your rants, did it not?
It really has. It's been great. We can accept Jay for who they them are. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long road to this, but it's going to show. Trump's going to be the nominee.
We always knew this.
Yeah, we have. We thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than it was, but it pretty much fell in line with a lot of the polls that were out there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, after New Hampshire, he's probably like DeSantis probably going to want to like try to, go through New Hampshire and everything. But if the polls in New Hampshire are any indication to what the results are going to be, he's going to probably want to bow out too.
And this tweet from Jack Posobiec is Trump should pardon Derek Chauvin. I mean, he could. I don't know if that's such a great. I don't know if that's the thing he should run on. We know what happened the last time Derek Chauvin was involved in anything, national news cycle related, but the entire country burned the fuck down in the summer of 2020 because George Floyd went a little too ham on the fentanyl. And
yeah,
did the medical examiner of that particular autopsy say it was the fentanyl, or did they say it was Derek Chauvin's knee?
I think they showed a lot of fentanyl in his drug screen. Yeah, there was a lot of fentanyl in his blood work. But yeah, Derek, Yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah,
he did
Why
a great
not?
job. He did a great job pardoning all the Jan Sixers, and also when the riots were happening in 2020, he did a great job tweeting out law and order to help mitigate it.
I mean, what's so wild is that like of all of the I mean, like you probably would disagree with this. Of all the candidates, like on a national level, he has at least done a better job than Nikki Haley ever would. And well, I don't know. I don't know how Ron DeSantis would do on the national level as president because at the very least, he has a lot of like right leaning Republicans with him, and it just so happens that most of the center right to right leaning Republicans, they happen to have most of the jobs in the federal government in the executive branch because George W. Bush brought them all in back in the 2000s. I don't know if many of them have left, but in terms of like getting people confirmed, I don't know if DeSantis would have as hard of a time than Trump did during his first term, and probably would if he got elected in 24. But I don't know. Times have changed, Jay. I feel like more and more Trump is becoming the establishment, is he not?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of establishment people who are endorsing him, as we just saw Ted Cruz endorse him, and it's hilarious because we saw like Chip Roy endorse DeSantis, and then now all of a sudden Chip Roy is establishment, which is really weird to see, and then Massey also endorsed Ron DeSantis, and
Yeah,
he's
that's a very odd pairing. I think
very
that's
far from
mostly.
thinking
I was just
that
gonna
he
say, I
is
feel like that's mostly ego driven because
establishment.
Thomas Massey, like policy wise, is actually very much in line with Trump more so than I think DeSantis. But because Trump dragged Massey to the woodshed back in like during COVID in 2020, I think
Because he
that was
was
like
against
he was
a
against the
lot of the
big. He was
COVID.
the sole.
The
He was like the sole dissenter of the massive AIDS package.
Yeah, and of the COVID spending, the COVID shutdowns, he was very vocal against all of that kind of stuff, and Trump didn't like that
Also,
because people like to pretend that Trump had nothing to do with what happened in 2020, how he shut down the country, and how he pushed Fauci into the forefront.
and also Mike Pence too. Remember, Mike Pence was like the head of the COVID task force.
Yes.
God, it just like there's just
and
so many times where you like want to
every
be like, why did he do that? It's just and like I'm not really a Trump basher, but like there's so many moves in 2020 that he did that just make me scratch my head thinking like, what is he doing? Like
right.
he's just making some of the most boneheaded decisions ever.
But this time it'll be different. I mean, he won't align with the Mitch McConnells because he didn't do that before. He won't bow down to the Pelosi's or Schumer's because he didn't do that before either. He was steadfast.
When they had the what was it, the national emergency, there was a shutdown over the border wall funding. What was that, the beginning of 2019 or something like that? It was right after the midterm election when Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, I think, was our oh no, actually both the House and Senate flipped. So they held they basically try to hold they held border wall funding, and I can't remember how long the government was shut down, but almost was it shut down twice? God, my memory is fucking shot, Jay. This was 5 years ago.
I know.
This is fucking 5 years ago now. Anyways, so where do we go from here, Jay? We got New Hampshire primary coming up. We pretty much are certain that Trump has this in the bag. But the MSNBC crew, even though they seem to think that, even though Trump seems to have this in the bag, what we got from this is for Ted Cruz endorsing Donald Trump. I believe we have a clip from MSNBC in which Rachel Maddow is losing her goddamn mind because while it is entirely predictable that Trump will win the nomination and arguably the presidential election in 2024, she needs to remind all of us that we're all going to die, right?
Yes. She and Joy Reid was whining about how there's too many white Christians in Iowa, and Iowa is like 90% white.
So let's watch this little clip here. You know, if the sound will work, Spencer. Watching it on literally the lowest volume imaginable. Can anybody hear that shit? I don't think anybody could hear that.
Nope.
We'll let our producer. We'll let our semi-competent producer, who is here for like 22 minutes before his first fuck up, try to unfuck this situation. Really, I don't know what happened with the local stream, Jay. You're gonna have to show me what you did and how I fucked it up.
I followed your instructions that you sent me.
I followed the same instructions, Jay. Is it just like that we're pushing it to so many different destinations that like locals just like gets, bottom rank?
No, I don't think so. But you know what? You need to go and talk to the guys over in at Rumble, because X is beating them with being able to have comments on StreamYard.
That, Jay, that's not new. That Twitter has had that sort of ability to stream on, to show the comments, right?
I don't know. This is the first time we were ever doing it, and it already had it.
That is true. That is the first time we're ever doing it. I don't know. We'll see what happens on oh, we got like a chat up here on X.
And
yeah, this is very new.
And Flapper over on X, he's asking where did we find Spencer? So we got him at JewProducers.com, and they had a promo bucket going on, and you click on it, and it ruffles up, and then it spits out kind of like what kind of producer you get. And I think because we're Arab, they gave us the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
And that's where that happened.
But we did get, Jay, I would argue we got both Spencer and Ben in that 2-for-1 combo. And it was like buy one, i.e. Spencer, and one of equal or lesser value, which was Ben.
Yeah, it was like buy one, get one half off.
Yeah, so in this case, Ben was the half off. All right, Rachel Maddow on MSNBC.
As you said on this, but it is not. If we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. If we're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying to do that is part of that equation. Mm-hmm. But people wanting that is a much bigger part of that equation. Right. And the American electorate is made up of two major parties. One of those parties has been flirting with extremism on the ultra-right for a very long time. They've brought them in a way that they haven't been central to Republican electoral politics ever before. And I know because I've been studying this. But once you have radicalized one major party so that those are the preferences of the people who adhere to your party, the leader is interchangeable. And yes, Trumpism is sometimes what we call it. Mm-hmm. MAGA movement is probably a better way to do it. But there is an authoritarian movement inside Republican politics that isn't being bamboozled by Trump. Mm-hmm. They are pushing Trump to get more and more extreme, because the more extreme things he says, the more they adhere to him. And that is coming from a very large proportion of the American right that adheres to the Republican Party. And that's why this is a Republican Party problem more than it is the problem of one man and his leadership.
Doesn't that tie together
Sorry, I had my mic on mute.
No,
because every time.
it's basically the same, just refresh of what they were doing before, and they love this because it helps with their ratings. They fucking love this. The media has been wanting this for the last 4 years, that they can start doing this just a recycle of everything that they were saying during the Trump years that made their ratings shoot up as high as it did. And they're going to go through this all the way through the election.
Look, despite what you hear from Rachel Maddow and her MSNBC cohorts about how scared they are about this rise of fascism, I cannot tell you how fucking deep down how fucking happy they are, because this is all the media ever wanted. Media, the corporate media revenue has gone to shit since Trump left office. And while they're all happy personally that Biden is president and they could suck his dick as much as they want, they know they're not getting viewers. People are tuning out. People don't look. Politics without Trump is very fucking boring. And that, I mean, like, I don't know how else to spin it. I have an appetite for it, but I'd be lying to you if I said Trump didn't make it more entertaining. He does. The dude is the funniest fucking president we've ever had. And the way that, like, even just last night during, like, there were two parts during his speech where I was like, I like audibly laughed. The first part was when he was saying he was like talking about how both Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley were having a good time together. And then this is a more fucked up one. He was mentioning how his mother-in-law, Melania's mother, passed away. And then he mentioned his father-in-law saying how lonely of a man he is now. He's like, he's very lonely. I was just like,
Jesus Christ.
I was just thinking to myself, like, man, if I'm the father-in-law, like, I'm like throwing my remote at the TV hoping to break this shit.
That's so good. No, he is definitely the most entertaining. I mean, they would have been getting the same kind of ratings if they were just honest about the reportings on everything that was going under Biden, because
everything's got to be sensationalized, Jay.
It's not boring what's happening under Biden. It's not boring that we had this invasion on our border for the last 4 years. It's not boring that we have a war in the Middle East. And it's not boring that we've been bowing down and allowing places like Iran to have more empowerment, and China as well. But they, you said, they're to suck his dick and not to give the honest truth on everything that's going on with it. Because if they were turned up to 11 like they were under Trump, they would be getting the same kind of viewership. And she's talking about fascism. The DOJ for the administration is suing Texas for enforcing their laws on the border. If you want to talk about authoritarianism, and there is not a peep out of these motherfuckers about it. Zero.
Zilch. Look, what I was going to say was that if I rewind back to clarify my comments about being boring, it is, politics are funnier with Trump. I'm not saying that politics are boring when he's not in the picture, but it's far more serious. Like, you don't get the comedic relief, really. Like, now you have to now, like with Biden in power, you have to laugh to keep from crying because shit is so bad. At least with Trump, like, you laugh, like, genuinely laugh, because some of the shit that's happening is so funny, and the reaction, the outrage to Trump with anything that he said is far and away some of the funniest, like, over the top overreactions I've ever seen happen from people that we see on TV every day. Like, people who have made like, they have, like, successful careers doing, comedy, doing, being acting in films and movies or writing or what have you. All of them have basically created, like, their entire persona of being anti-Trump. And, like, the way that they, like, there would be nothing else that could get to them except for Trump. For some reason, Trump gets to them more than anything. and they feel the need to speak out, and everyone just clowns them because it's Chicken Little. Sky is falling. They're always saying the sky is fucking falling, and every single time the sky's not fucking falling. It's I don't even know what would happen in the round 2 in the second presidential term for Trump. Like, they might actually just try to kill the guy.
It could happen. I mean, one thing they had going for him as well is the fact that he would hold press conferences and he would be there to take questions a lot. I mean, and you remember he was gone for like 90 days or something, and they had a ticker for that. And then you don't have Biden do them not as nearly as often, and he goes out on vacation every other weekend, and no counter was being counted on there. I mean, it was a total flip on the way that they were portraying themselves as being such these people who will hold everybody accountable, and then just fall completely flat under Biden and be complete bitches under Biden and allow Biden to get away with things that they would have never allowed Trump to try and get away with at all. Especially when it came to like press conferences, how often KJP lies to their faces compared to any of Trump's press secretaries, and they just sit down and they just fucking take it.
They really do. It's actually, the White House press briefings during the Trump era were like must-see TV. Now it's just like it's regressed tremendously to the point where you watch it and you're not getting anything out of it, because all you're doing is getting angry because everything that they're saying is a fucking lie. At the very least, when Trump's press secretaries lied, they are like on its face, like objectively hilarious, because like who would lie about like something so stupid as like crowd size? Like, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. Like, it's an ego thing. Like, no one cares.
And they were also lying about like they called it a lie when Trump said that Hillary crushed an iPhone instead of a BlackBerry, and they called that a lie. The CNN dick facers.
The dick facers.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, now you have the press conferences, and you're just wondering whether or not he's going to fall asleep, trip over himself, or get lost in going backstage. That's what happens with Biden. There's no funny moments. There's no snippets. There's nothing. It's
just sad. Flapper on X says, you've forgotten the lore of your own show. I don't know what this was in reference to, since this comment was posted 9 minutes ago. This is what happens when you're a boomer and don't check the comments. But
I think he was talking about the best. I think he was talking about the producer.
The producer?
Yeah, the producer.
So in lieu of all this, so we have New Hampshire coming up, and ABC News actually has called off the New Hampshire GOP primary debate over Haley and Trump no-shows. Nikki Haley is an interesting one because despite coming in third and not, she's not reading the writing on the wall. Instead, she's coming out saying that this is a two-person race. Do we have that clip, Spencer? I think Spencer has that clip. While Spencer finds that clip, Fuzzy says, let's whip him out already, for Christ's sake. Do I need to show you what he's talking about? This is what he's talking about. Let's whip him. I don't know if this is from last week. Honestly, I'm losing track. I feel like I need to do what Phil Jackson of the Chicago Bulls and LA Lakers. You know Phil Jackson?
No, who's Phil Jackson?
Phil Jackson is a former basketball coach. He used to coach Michael Jordan. He coached Jordan during the 6 rings, the 6 championships that they won. And then he also coached the Lakers when it was Kobe and Shaq, all the way up until Kobe and Pau Gasol. And every year, what Phil Jackson would do is he would change his look. Like, some years he would be clean shaven. On another year, he'd have a mustache. The next year, he'd have just a soul patch. One year, he'd have a full beard. Sometimes he'd have I have never yet seen Phil Jackson with the Civil War beard, because that honestly would be badass. But he did that so that people who used his images on like sports media, couldn't use an old image and claim that it was new because he didn't look like that anymore. It's a very weird thing about Phil Jackson, and
you should do that. Absolutely, you should do the Civil War beard cut.
I'm surprised that he also never went for the Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Well, I mean, after 1945, I think the Charlie Chaplin mustache was kind of forbidden.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan rocked
maybe
it.
Maybe I should do it.
No, hold on. Do you recall Michael Jordan rocking that mustache in a Hanes commercial?
No.
Oh, this is good.
Who's Phil Jackson?
This is real good.
The guy Flapper coming in saying, "Who's Phil Jackson?" The guy who runs the Habibi Bros live sports streams.
Look at this. Look at that. Can you see that, Jay?
That is a choice. That is a fucking choice.
That is. Whew. I forgot. I think
was that real?
That's real.
Was that real?
That's real.
No
He did that in a commercial, bro.
Jesus Christ. That's a fucking choice right there.
Yeah. Radar Live on Twitch says what happened.
I think Kanye West is probably pissed off he can't grow a mustache. Because he'd probably rock that mustache for sure.
Well, no, Kanye West, he's had a mustache. He just has like a paper thin, little pencil mustache. Kind of like when I was going through my Everlast phase like 6 months ago.
Right.
Anyways, Nikki Haley.
That was a great phase.
What a tangent we went off here. Nikki Haley calling this a 2-person race. Did she say 2-man race?
Let's hear.
Let's hear it.
I can safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a 2-person race.
So it would be easier if she just said 2-man race because we know that she's unless she wants to share something with the class. That she's actually secretly a Laura Loomer fan, right, Jay?
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk that the people are saying that she's going to be Trump's VP.
That's retarded, Jay. That is maybe the dumbest. That would be the dumbest move Trump could make, perhaps ever. If he picks Haley to be his running mate, he deserves to lose. Absolutely, 100%.
It would be hilarious to see that happen, and then and then all the people who are saying, that she's an establishment, she's a lib, and all that kind of stuff are going to be like, no, it's a genius move because it's a unity ticket.
What has a unity ticket gotten anyone? It's the dumbest fucking idea ever. I don't know why anyone. Huh?
I don't think it's going to happen. Who do you think he's going to pick for his VP?
I could think of either 2 people, Vivek or Carrie Lake. Those are the only 2 people I can think of off the top of my head who I think if he really wanted to get someone who
who's just
fan of his, like actually actively like out there campaigning for him, a surrogate, both Vivek and Carrie Lake, I think are the most make the most sense. They make the most sense because while neither have actually won any public office or a public race, they at the very least present well on TV, and maybe that's the only thing Trump cares about.
Well, and also they have the knee pads. They've evolved where they don't even need knee pads. The knee pads have already been formed around their knees.
It's like a
that's going to be
shell.
good for them too.
It's like a turtle shell.
Exactly. I don't know. That would be like a bold choice for sure if he went with like Vivek or Carrie Lake, just because of how people are very put off between the
Bam
two.
over on X says I heard from someone with a good track record with Trump predictions saying he's picking Rick Scott. That fucking alien, really? Rick Scott is maybe even worse than Nikki Haley.
that would be an interesting one. That's for sure.
That honestly, if Trump is looking for a way to lose this election, he just needs to pick Nikki Haley or Rick Scott to be his running mate. Fuck. What if he just went ahead and said, fuck it, I'm picking Mike Pence?
Oh, just did that again. Honestly, with the people who are going to vote for him anyways, it doesn't matter who he's going to pick. It really doesn't matter who he's going to fucking pick.
It should not matter, but to some people it matters. I don't know why. Probably because in the second Trump term, they probably plan on assassinating him, and then whoever is the VP at the time obviously will become president, and then they're gonna have to assassinate him or her, and all of a sudden, boom, you have Nancy Pelosi. What?
Whore? Him or whore? Women are not all women are whores.
What did I say?
You said whore. You said him or whore.
I meant her, but whore I guess works too.
Well, if it's Carrie Lake, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. So Bam also says on Rumble, I'm sorry, on X, the black guy that was running for president, who, Barack Obama? He said Tim
No,
Scott.
he meant Tim
my
Scott.
bad.
Censor
I can't
Shop.
see it. I can't see Tim
Censor Shop
Scott.
was saying like, why not Rick James?
Rick James, bitch.
Well, if he did pick Nikki Haley, then the whole that whole thing Vivek was saying was going on about was he was saying that Nikki Haley is the puppet. Don't fall for it. Nikki Haley is the puppet. So if Nikki Haley gets in and then they assassinate Trump and Nikki Haley is installed as the president, then Vivek is probably the greatest conspiracy theorist since Alex Jones.
Why not Alex Jones as his VP, as his running mate?
Press secretary. That would be great.
Honestly, that'd be. Oh
That
man,
would
if he was
be
the press secretary, if Alex Jones was the fucking press secretary, that would be every day. I would hook that shit up into my veins, like, and not even it wouldn't even be from the. It wouldn't even be from the White House press briefing room, Jay. He'd do it from the InfoWars studio.
dude, it would be absolutely fucking amazing. And he would force the press to go into his InfoWars studio. Not even do it from there. They'd have to go to the InfoWars studio in order to have a press conference.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a one voter issue guy, and if he picks Alex Jones as his press secretary, I'll be voting for him.
That's it. That's it. That's a surefire way to get elected. All he has to do is say that, and honestly, earns my vote.
Done deal.
Sorry, Ron DeSantis. Sorry, Nikki Haley. Sorry, Vivek, even though he's not in the race anymore. Yeah. If he started out the gate saying that Alex Jones was going to be his press secretary, despite the fact that Alex Jones basically said fuck Trump. That's enough. That's enough for me. So what we got here? We got this little cartoon, Nikki Haley showering, popping a champagne bottle, coming in third. It's the perfect meme. I love that meme. So Jay, what the fuck are you doing, Spencer? You are just jumping around the different camera angles. This is a fireable offense, just so you know. But we're gonna hire you back just to fire you again. So Habibis, what else is going on in the world? We got
Iran bombing Pakistan and also bombing an American consulate in Iraq.
Wait. Iran
that
bombed
happened this
Pakistan?
month. Yep.
Where the fuck have I been? Obviously not in Pakistan.
Dude, you didn't know?
This is whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah. Holy shit is right.
Why? Do we know why?
We don't know why. Probably because they're an ally with America. I don't know exactly why. I didn't go really into it.
And calling Pakistan a U.S. ally is like so like that's like such a mischaracterization, because for one, like China, like if anything, Pakistan has an allegiance to China more than the U.S. I mean, just look what Imran Khan did by allowing the Chinese in the Belt and Road Initiative to come in and basically build a port in Karachi and give the Chinese basically entire access to the Indian Ocean. Like this
Iran said it targeted 2 bases linked to the militant group Jaish al-Adl, according to a news agency affiliated with the country's military. But Pakistan rejected this call, calling it an illegal act, and it led to 2 child deaths.
Okay,
and this came in after they shot ballistic missiles to the U.S. consulate as well, which also killed civilians, and it also killed. It missed and hit a home, an innocent civilian home as well.
So what you're saying, Jay, is that Pakistan is now Iran's Gaza.
Exactly right. And then now China's throwing their hat in as well, saying that they're warning the U.S. on their bombing of the Houthis.
Oh yeah, that's a big story we missed. But before we talk about the Houthis, Radar on Twitch says calling Pakistan a U.S. ally is like calling Siraj straight. It's essentially 100% correct.
Censor Shop says, "Why are you Jay?"
What are you, Jay? You are Jay.
Yes, I'm Jay.
You are Jay. So we got the Houthis now. The U.S. is now in a full scale military operation against the Houthis of Yemen.
Yes. And it's really funny watching the libertarians and the commies in Congress say that this is an illegal act by the U.S. military because they didn't get the approval from Congress to go to war.
So since when did the Houthis care about fucking U.S. congressional processes?
Exactly right, and it's not like they're at war with the country. Like, these are terrorist pirates that they're closing an important trade canal.
Like leave it to the Houthis to then jump on like the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned and being like it was done incorrectly.
And it's so funny watching the typical guys like Hassan Piker has been defending these guys and the Houthis for since they shot they started this conflict, and
pretty much anyone who's been pro-Palestinian or outwardly pro-Hamas, which honestly not a whole lot of separation there, not a whole lot of daylight between the two.
No,
a whole lot of that is a Venn diagram that's very close to a concentric circle.
Right. I mean, they're just anti-West. That's what they are. All of these people are just anti-West.
They're anti-West. They think that the West is an imperialist, colonialist, like genocidal power, which is clearly not. Because if I actually have been advocating for the U.S. to be a colonial power that makes every country into America, because if you do that, then all of a sudden all the laws that are passed in the United States then become wholesale for the rest of the world. You don't have an immigration problem if every country is fucking America, Jay. Okay,
very true.
You don't have if you wanted to police China and India on climate change and carbon emissions, just make them America. Then you can pass whatever fucking climate change bill you wanted. Not that it would do anything, because let's be honest, spending billions and trillions of dollars is not going to cause the temperature of the ocean to drop by 1/10 of a degree.
Or forcing you to not use your air conditioner here in the United States.
Right. And in light of all this, we had John fucking Kerry stepping down as the climate czar. And I have to say this, Jay. Private jets around the world are holding a 21 tower salute.
Moment of silence to all the profits that they're going to lose, not flying around John Kerry. For his advocacy on getting on you losing your refrigerators and your AC units.
All you need to do to stop climate change is just have Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift break up, because without Taylor Swift going to all of his games in a private jet, that's like 90% of the carbon emissions that's being emitted into the atmosphere now.
Well, and how many extra kid slave laborers are making Kelsey jerseys because of the influx of everyone buying all the Swifties buying Kelsey jerseys?
Think about all the Uyghur Muslims in China who are slaving away to make all of these Swifties the Travis Kelce Kansas City Chiefs jacket. It's just terrible.
It is, and not to mention all of them getting stuck in traffic trying to follow her to the different games as well.
Yeah, at that point, it's just a matter of like the Swifties are actually going to actively kill us. Like, I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's going to be the fascists who kill us all. It's going to be the Zionists who kill us all." No, bitch, it's going to be the fucking Swifties who kill us all.
That's what it is. So I think that we should start intern camps for Swifties, making sure that we have them all. And
I think we should start with Jenna. Jenna, if you're listening to this, you are the first, you're patient zero or prisoner zero of the Swiftie intern camps. I'm sorry, I'll make the rules here.
This is the way that it's supposed to happen. We'll monitor everyone's Spotify accounts to see who's been listening to Swifties. Oh shit, I have to actually delete some of them. I mean, I listen to a couple of them while I go and work out and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were trouble when you walked in.
Jay, did you know that Emily's never listened to Taylor Swift before? I mean, I haven't either, but like, she's definitely one of these people that listens to a lot of music. She listens to a lot of old music, 60s and 70s, but I think like every now and then she'll dive into like the modern pop genre. She doesn't listen to Taylor Swift, and I gotta say, man, I really lucked out.
Yeah, you really did.
I don't know about my children though, because if they become Swifties, I'm fucking done for. Thank you, Spencer, calling me the biggest Swiftie alive. Fired.
You're gonna have to disown them if that happened. Doesn't matter if they get into law school or become a doctor.
I know. I mean, like, look, you got the Jewish guilt, and then you have the Pakistani immigrant guilt. I don't know what you can get out of that. That's a dangerous combination, Jay.
It's they have like no chance on on making any of you guys proud. I mean, you would probably be proud because you probably have more of your mom's side than your dad's side.
Right.
And you're more of a little bitch than Emily is. That's 100% like true.
100%.
Like you're gonna get walked over by your children.
Absolutely.
So fucking like it's so easily too. Like I can see it happening so much.
Yeah. Oh no,
Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got a D. I got a D in English. But can I have $2,500 to buy a Louis Vuitton bag? Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Take your other one out that I just ordered for you as well, please.
Honestly, this sounds like me. I actually cannot wait for this moment to happen because Jay, we both know it's gonna happen.
100%.
100%. Rory Metzger on Local says, surprised Siraj didn't say I haven't either because I only listen to 90s rap. Right. I am, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I've never heard this. I am a big 90s hip hop aficionado. I know some people say I'm autistic about it. I'd say I'm more just knowledgeable about it and spent when I'm spending time on my phone, like going through the rabbit holes, I'm going through mostly. It usually starts off by me hearing a lyric from one of those many songs, and wait. So apparently we didn't lose, or we didn't miss a beat here, because of course Spencer's over here posting the fact that I'm a 90s icon and also a man who has slept with over 1,000 cars, but not like sleeping in them, like slept with. Like, look at the positioning of that hand. Oh God, it really is that bad. I can't believe. I need to take those images off of StreamYard. That's gonna. Anyway, so Jay, we've been talking about how the media sucks absolute dick right now, and there's something that hasn't even been given like an iota of coverage, and that is how the media, specifically CBS, put out this goddamn headline in Texas, in which, if you and Jay, I think you've been following the border crisis closer than I have. This is a story that I've also happened to pick up, and that is one, the Texas Border Patrol agents. Or wait, hold on. Maybe is it the Texas National Guard? Is it the Texas National Guard that barred Border Patrol agents from accessing these sites? Right?
Yes.
Tell me what happened, Jay.
So the Border Patrol agents that was reported weren't allowed to go save a mother and her 2 children from drowning by the Texas National Guard. That's how it was reported. Turns out they were already dead
before they got there.
And there's practically no corrections happening on the people who tweeted the story out. No correction. And then the stories were stealth corrected with no announcement of this correction. And they did this last time as well with the claiming that they were getting whipped. They were whipping the migrants on it. And again, there's no accountability when shit like this happens in the media, and they expect you to just take it on the chin and trust them this time when they're telling you the side of the story, when they're giving you the truth. I mean, it was just like when Trump was doing his speech, his victory speech. Rachel Maddow said, "We're not going to play it right now. We're going to listen to it and just give you what we think about it." It's practically almost word for word for what she said about the.
And they cry fascist, like a free and open press. I mean, these people, like Jay, it's almost like it's by design.
And it really is. It really is by design. And they are. And there's a study that is really fascinating as well. So you'd have something like 10 people, all right, and 8 of them will be villagers, and 2 of them will be werewolves. And the only people who know that they're werewolves are the 2 people, and the other villagers have to find out who the werewolves are.
Yeah, this sounds like
80% of the time. Yeah, but 80% of the time the wolves will win, because if you keep important information from the majority, you have such an advantage over them. And this is what the people do in the media over and over again, because more often than not, either they don't give you the whole truth, or they're hiding a special a specific and important aspect of a story and just giving you bullshit.
That's crazy. I actually hadn't even thought of that, because yeah, I mean, that shit works so effectively. Lying by omission, for example, something that you've basically alluded to through that. Where did you learn it? Where did you hear that shit from, Jay?
It was a study that was a psychological study done in like.
I'm sure it's just They this is what they did, Jay. You had just a bunch of researchers play Among Us and then wrote up a fucking paper on it. That's all they did. Don't bullshit me with this. Oh, we need $800 million for research at the NIH because we want to study how the media operates in a nutshell. They're playing Among Us for like 12 hours a day.
For $9.99 a pop.
They're like, and they're also like inviting their friends and paying them to play Among Us with them. That's basically all it is.
No, it is. It is. I mean, it's so amazing that we're seeing it in real time happening over and over again. I mean, I think a lot of people under the Trump years had their eyes open to it because of how the media was under Obama.
Trump did a great job of at least exposing the rot that was the corporate media.
Absolutely.
You got to tip your hat to him. Also, Jay, I need to tip my hat to whoever the fuck hacked into my YouTube, because for some reason, now it's possible that this has gone away because in the last no, it's still happening right now. Look at this, Jay. I got someone who's currently in my YouTube. Currently, not even this is today, okay? Someone who has been watching and listening to nothing but bachata music on my YouTube. What the fuck is going on, Jay?
Oh my God,
this past weekend. How is it possible that
this is your history? Oh my God,
this is my history. See, you could tell that this was me because I was looking up Rodney Harrison and then Norm Macdonald and Inglourious Bastards, and then I wanted to show my wife that David Beckham actually speaks like a 4-year-old child. Have you ever heard how David Beckham speaks?
Yes, I have. I even watched the Beckham documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, he speaks like a goddamn child. But there's all this bachata music. We're back to the bachata music. What happened?
This has been happening for a fucking long ass time. Go back up to the date.
December now, Jay.
This is back in December. Oh my God.
I don't even know how far this goes.
And it's not just one song. This is like a lot of fucking.
Like part of me wants it to keep happening because maybe I'll start picking up bachata and then I'll finally I'll finally figure out how to speak Spanish.
But I mean, does anybody else have an access to?
Dude, I have no idea. But it doesn't matter.
Family share on or something?
Now I have all these like recommendations I got to get on. Oh, and they broke it up with some Pink Floyd, Steven Tyler, Metallica. Oh, they went with Rammstein and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay. Like they were I think what they started off was they listened to things they used to listen to as maybe a teenager. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to go right into bachata music.
It's so good.
It is arguably, I don't even know where I'm logged in, which shows you how poorly my cybersecurity is.
It's very bad. I mean, you were logged in here, but I switched it over to mine like when I first got here.
Yeah.
And I don't
shows you how seriously I take cybersecurity.
Oh yeah. We're so fucked.
So
they figured out your password. It's Siraj 69420.
Fuck, I got to change it now, Jay. Did you realize what you've done?
No, that was Rory Metzger over on Locals.
What'd he do?
That's he figured out your password.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Roy. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't. Locals chat doesn't refresh on my computer for some reason. I got to actually actively refresh it. Censored Shop says, I saw Wolf Blitzer repeated this fake news narrative to Ron DeSantis on the CNN town hall earlier. But Ron didn't know how to call him out on it. And this is, let's see. I thought you were going to show us a video here, Censored Shop. What the fuck is this? God damn it. It's okay, but I read your comment. That's all that matters, right? Anyways, Jay, big weekend of football this past weekend, Jay. Unfortunately, Taylor Swift still lives on another round. Although her boyfriend had some pretty key drops in that game against the Dolphins. Travis
Yeah, he
Kelce,
did.
some uncharacteristic drops, like wide open drops. At least 2, possibly 3 to my knowledge. I think it was mainly 2 though. Big surprises from this weekend that you saw.
The Packers absolutely fucking dominating and wiping the floor with the Cowboys the way that they did.
I'm both surprised, Jay. I'm both surprised by that and not surprised by that. And the reason I say that is because the Packers being a 7th seed and being good with Jordan Love, they're it's possibly the 3rd franchise quarterback consecutively playing lights out in the playoffs in his first playoff game starting. And I'm not surprised because they were playing the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So
why is it because there's like a history between the Packers and the Cowboys in the playoffs like that, or
it's not the history?
Or the Packers have a history?
The story is that the Cowboys are just so consistently bad. No matter how good they are in the regular season, they're so bad in the postseason in the playoffs.
They always choke. Always choke.
They've been choking so hard. Radar Live over on Twitch says props to our boy Jarvis for a banger tweet on the heels of the game. You guys see that?
Oh yeah, it was a phenomenal one because the Chiefs head over to the Bills, Buffalo, because Buffalo's win. That one wasn't surprising. We knew the Steelers are having problems and they had injuries. They definitely have problems in the quarterback area, and Josh Allen is going to probably turn his switch on, and I'm hoping that they're going to dominate the Chiefs as well.
Everybody wants
knock the Chiefs out.
Yes. Everybody wants them to win. It's.
I wasn't so surprised by the Eagles and Bucks game though.
I was surprised.
I was surprised by how much they blew them out, though. Like that was surprising. Like how dominant they were. That was the surprising part.
This is the banger tweet. This is the banger tweet from Jarvis. I don't know if you can see this. The caption reads: Taylor Swift checking into the nicest hotel in Buffalo next week. It says Hillary Clinton. What that was like a photo that someone just took of her walking into someone's apartment, and like I think it was a staffer's apartment or something like that.
Yeah,
and this shit just like it's fucking beautiful. It's got
it's absolutely amazing.
7.5 over 7,500 or 7,500 retweets, 124,000 likes. That's 7 million impressions. Fucking A, Jarvis. Tell us how to tweet like you, Habibi.
Yeah, that's a beautiful fucking tweet. That's a beautiful fucking tweet.
We're entering a day and age, Jay, where I'm starting to think to myself, man, how are these guys so fucking good at Twitter? Truly, like you got Flapper, you got what's his name? You got Perry, and you got Jarvis and Damon. Consistently pushing out bangers, and I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing in my life? I don't know, Jay. That's right. I mean,
if you think your life is a
family man, I'm spending my time being a family man. We know this, Jay.
I mean, that's an excuse you can tell to yourself, but in all reality, you're just a fucking failure. Just accept it.
Fair enough.
I like how you're trying to gauge your success in life over whether or not you have banger tweets to tweet out.
You don't judge your success based on whether you have banger tweets. Okay, now I feel like we actually really need to like get to the bottom of this, because I'd say, look, my peak was right around the time the list came out. So this is like, I'd say 2019 until like maybe mid 2021, and then it started falling off. I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
Like my engagement was fucking on another level. I was tweeting out the most crazy shit you could believe, and people wondering, how is Siraj not canceled for this? Like Jay, for you tweet behind an anonymous account, even though everyone knows it's you. You know, it's ass licking. My name has been tied to that for over a decade now, Jay. I've been
Must
on
be
that
nice.
website for 11 years, if you think about it. And I don't know how, I don't know where. Clearly, I need to be online more to get see like radar is like Perry is on another level. He is like Perry
Oh
is.
yeah. Well, he
It's
found his shtick, and he really went into it. The alpha male
such a great shtick.
shtick.
I don't even
It's
know
so
half the
good.
shit he's doing, but it's fucking phenomenal.
And Nick Adams as well, and he just plays into it, and he goes deep with it. It's really good. Just like his boyfriend goes deep inside his asshole. I mean, I'm sorry, his fiance.
Somehow, but like my shtick has become being gay. Like I put out a Twitter poll several months ago where I said, "What am I known for?" And I think like the list, uh, you know, being a journo, Ernie, or being gay, and overwhelmingly people went with being gay. I'm sorry, they went with being gay.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a good shtick to go and
Yeah, but
to go
you
deep.
have Jay. Tell the people for real. Is ass eating a shtick?
Oh no, it's for real, for real. You can ask anyone. You should have asked. My lady friend when she was here.
Jay, do I dare ask someone I just met?
Is it true that he eats your ass? Do it. It's fine. People know what they're gonna get into when they're with me or dating me or anything. They know.
Okay, so but your girl didn't know like your
Oh
reputation before
no,
meeting you.
she knows.
She
You mean?
knew.
Yeah, beforehand, she knew. It's not something I hide.
Do you like do you just say this like out in the open, like just in public, as opposed to like on Twitter?
Every time I walk into a Starbucks, I'd be like, "I eat ass, and I would like a coffee, please."
No, you don't tell them what you tell them your name. You tell the barista. What name do you give the barista, Jay?
Jay ass licking. No, I don't. I don't do it like that. I mean, when it's like the second date or the third date or something like that, we get into it. Yeah, I let people know what I like.
Okay, then. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad we had this talk,
None
Jay.
the wiser over on the local chat. Glad Jay's discussing football like an expert when he didn't even know the conferences yesterday.
Jeez. Of course, Jay. Of course, you didn't know the conferences. What are the
Oh,
conferences, Jay?
the AFC and the NFC. And then those are broken down to different, like Northeast, West, and South. The NFC
Okay.
South, NFC North, and NFC West, and all that kind of stuff.
What
Now,
have you
who's
learned?
in those? I have no idea.
All right, so Jay, I would be real autistic and like quiz you on this, but because we're doing an actual show and this is going to become, a podcast episode, I really don't want to bore our listeners with this. So I'll just ask you some quick trivia. Who is the greatest quarterback of all time?
Well, it depends on the aspect of it. If you're talking about accolades, then of course it's Tom Brady for sure. If you're talking about pure ability, you're probably talking about Aaron Rodgers. And if you're talking about like new right now in this era, you're probably talking about Patrick Mahomes.
So Spencer says Joe Montana. Obviously, all of you are wrong. The greatest quarterback of all time is Nathan Peterman. And if you don't know who that is, please, please, please Google him, because you'll never find a quarterback who can throw no touchdowns and actually complete more passes to the opposing team's players than his own. I think it was one game he had 4 completions and he had 5 interceptions. That takes talent, honestly. Because most quarterbacks are trying to hit their own guys. No, he didn't even give a shit about his own guys. He was just throwing at whoever else. Who, if he saw a human body there, it doesn't matter what jersey they were wearing. he was throwing the ball to them. Look at that. Nathan Peterman throwing 5 interceptions in the first half of his NFL start. All right, we're going to keep this on mute because, of course, is that number 1? Oh, and by the way, if you don't remember, Nathan Peterman, quarterback for the Bills before Josh Allen.
Oh, that was number 2, and he got his guy injured and out.
Nathan Peterman, just a raw specimen. Are we gonna get the pick? There we go. There's one. Now, how many touchdown passes did he? Oh, does he get this one? He got this one.
He got it.
Amazing. And that was when the Chargers played in San Diego. Remember that? Those are some good days. I miss the NFL of old.
Oh shit! And
that
he's
was
still
a 3-6
going.
Chargers team. Man, I don't even remember what the year that was, but it was beautiful. We got some more gems. There's Nathan Peterman. No, that was definitely a completed pass. Still. Oh, there we go.
Oh shit! Oh my god, that is so hard to watch.
It's so great to watch. This is honestly when football was great.
Well, watching Dak Prescott throw those 2 interceptions was amazing. That was absolutely fucking amazing.
I actually missed a good chunk of that game. I'm sad to admit it.
Oh, dude, that game was great. I mean, love is him. It's got to suck for Bears fans that in just their 3 quarterback changes, they've gotten franchise quarterbacks that are going to take them to the playoffs every fucking year. And the Bears have gone on how many between Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love? How many Bears quarterbacks have there been?
All right, so we got Sexy Rexy Grossman. You got Jay Cutler. Okay. After Jay Cutler, God, I'm starting to get a little bit foggy. You have Mitch Trubisky. Who else did you have? Did they go from Mitch? They might have had. I think they had Mike Glennon at one point in time, and then it was a while before they finally got to Justin Fields. Wow. We need the resident Bears fan in the production line to tell us that I get.
When did Aaron Rodgers?
Ben,
when did Brett,
get in here.
So
when did Brett Favre start?
Ben,
I was born. I started watching football when I was around 4 years old. That would be 2003. So like right at the end of the.
Hold on, Ben. Are you telling me, Ben, that you don't remember 9/11?
No, I do not.
Oh my fucking god, we got to fire his ass. That probably means.
But basically, you got most of the quarterbacks. Other guys that have gotten starts for the Bears, Brian Hoyer, Matt Barkley, Josh McCown. Josh McCown, I know, had several starts. Nathan Peterman has not. I don't think he's ever started for the Bears, but he's been on the roster.
He's been on the roster.
Oh gosh, Kyle Orton is another one.
Yeah, Kyle Orton. Oh, I forgot about Kyle Orton of Purdue. Oh man, that brings me back. Fuck.
Okay, so 1992 is when Brett Favre started. So here's the list. Here's the list. So you have Jim Harbaugh.
You know who else was a quarterback? I think for the Bears.
Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback for the Bears.
Fucking AJ.
Steve Walsh, Eric Kramer, Dave Craig, Shane Matthews, Cade McNown, Jim Miller, Cordell Stewart, Craig Krenzel, Kyle Orton, Rex Grossman.
Yep, Rex Grossman.
Jay Cutler. Matt Barkley. Mitchell Trubisky, and then Justin Fields. That's like 15 different quarterbacks starting for them between just the 3 that the Packers have had.
It's wild because half of those were before I was watching football, so it was worse before you know.
Meanwhile, we got well done with ketchup on Twitch says 9/11 was a national tragedy, Ben. So
You know, him holding up those two dogs remind me of that tragedy.
Radar Life says, how fucking old is Ben? Well, obviously too young to remember 9/11, which is way too young for us. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut him loose. We're also gonna have to cut Spencer loose because he also was. I actually think he was born after 9/11. He can dispute this if he wants. Yeah, he's shaking his. He's nodding his head. He was born after 9/11. We got to fire both of them. I don't trust anybody who doesn't remember 9/11. That's my golden rule right there. Okay, because
I only date people who don't remember 9/11. Apparently,
that you're like the Leonardo DiCaprio of dating people who don't remember 9/11. So that's basically where we are. You are the Leonardo DiCaprio dating women who don't remember 9/11.
yeah, dating. But I do still sleep with Fuzzy's mom.
Oh, Nick Foles is another one. Remember Nick Foles? Jimmy Clausen? I forgot about fucking big dick Nick Foles.
Well,
anyways.
also our predictions over this first playoff week. I think I was like 3 out of the. How many?
I got 2 right. I'm
3.
currently 2 and 4. I got the Chiefs game and I got the Bucks game.
All right, so let's go with our predictions.
I got I got the Bills game. So I'm 3 and 3.
All right, let's go with the divisional round, playoff round right now to see who's going to go in between the Texans and the Ravens. Who do you got?
Yeah, man. I like an upset of Texans. I think Texans might take that. I think CJ Stroud is playing like nothing to lose. Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, has plenty to lose. He is obviously the front runner for the NFL MVP. He has a stellar defense. He's got a good receiving core, and the guy's got fucking like I don't even know cat-like reflexes. He's got amazing pocket presence, and he is very honestly. I don't know how it's possible that Patrick Mahomes got all the love and Lamar Jackson. And I get it; he won two Super Bowls, and Lamar Jackson hasn't won any. But like, goddamn, Lamar Jackson, that dude is fucking talented.
He really is. And, you know, a lot of people will like to say that it's kind of shaky when you have 2 weeks off like this compared to the Texans, because the Texans have like CJ Stroud's on fire. So he's going to run that momentum up while the Ravens have to just come back in. But I think Lamar Jackson, after seeing a lot of the interviews, like the guy is hungry. The guy's still has that fire in it. And I don't think they're going to take the foot off the gas. I don't think they were going soft during practices. I think the Ravens are going to take this off. The Texans.
This is the one thing. The Ravens got a bye week, and then the week before they rested their starters. So that's both on the bright side, that is more time to rest up from injuries, but on the downside, you risk getting rusty. And in that case, I don't know if I like that amount of time going by for the Ravens, not basically playing as a full unit for like 3 weeks, basically between games. So
right,
that's a long time. That's like between the end of a conference championship in college football and the beginning of the bowl season, right? That's a long time. You don't know what kind of team that is.
That is a long time, but I don't think they took the foot off the gas on practices. I don't think they're taking this time off as a holiday time off. I think.
No, I'm not saying that they're actually taking time off. I'm talking about.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get. I do get what you're saying. I still think the Ravens are going to pull this one off.
I mean, on paper, I still think that I'm going against my better judgment here in saying that the Texans are going to win it, because
I think it's going to be close.
We just saw them play.
It's going to be a fucking dogfight.
We saw them dominate a really good Cleveland Browns team, not just like CJ Stroud played with. I think only had maybe maybe less than 5 I don't know what his full stat line was, but it was so good. He had no fuck ups. I think he had a perfect passer rating. I know
Yeah, he
Baker
did have
Mayfield had a perfect passer rating, but to the
He did have
point
a-
where you're wondering how is it possible that CJ Stroud, a rookie, is tearing up a pretty fucking good Cleveland Browns team. You got Myles Garrett. They shut him the fuck down. Okay.
Yep.
Myles Garrett could not get to CJ Stroud, and I don't know many. The Lions were able to contain Aaron Donald really well in that Rams game. This is really the story of, I think, whichever team has the better O line, that's the one that's going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because they're both really good quarterbacks. They're very good. I mean, C.J. Stroud's great in the pocket. He can scramble. He's a baller. He's really good.
It's good. All right, so what's the
Yeah.
next matchup we got?
So we got that night. It's going to be the Packers and the 49ers.
Packers 49ers. Okay.
And what's it called? The head coach of the Niners. He was having a press conference. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan, and he was like, we were going to work at the end of the first quarter on the Packers, and then after, like, he was just ragging on the Cowboys like that, saying like
That's
after
funny.
the first quarter, we knew it was going to be the Packers, and then after the half, it just solidified it. So we went to work.
What a fucking
right
flex,
right
and
then.
also what a compliment to the Packers. Honestly,
Oh yeah,
like if your opponent knows right after the first quarter that they're going to face you the next week, that's a sign you're doing something fucking right. And look, I get that anything is possible in these playoffs. We've already seen the Packers is the first team that's the first number 7 seed that's actually won a playoff game. It's never happened before, albeit they haven't had 7 seeds before 2020. But that being said, Jay,
right.
they're the first one to do it on a 10-7 record. They beat a 12-5 Cowboys team, and they did it very convincingly to the point where every single thing that the Cowboys were known for being good at, their passing game, their linebackers, their pass defense, they were exposed on every single level. It's actually really fucking surprising how bad the Cowboys played in that round. And honestly, the Packers are probably feeling pretty good about themselves. I don't know. Do I go for 2 upsets straight? Do I say that the Packers still have it within them to upset the Niners? I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, if
I'm
that's
fucking
where
do
you're
it.
going,
I'm going to say that the Packers beat the Niners.
I'm going to stick with Mr. Irrelevant and their stacked team because everyone should be healthy.
I mean,
Nobody's going to be
literally
missing
picked the
out.
Browns to win the fucking Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
I have nothing.
I picked
to
the
lose.
49ers and the Browns to pick the Super Bowl against my better judgment too. But I'm still sticking with the 49ers. So you're changing your Super
Well, I
Bowl
don't have
prediction.
the Browns are no longer my pick because they're out. So
Well, the 49ers were still your pick.
they
going
were in
all the
the
way to
they
the
were in
Super
the
Bowl.
championship, but now I've decided I'm gonna just say fuck it and just pick every upset.
I'm going with the 49ers on this one. So then we the next one is going to be the Buccaneers and the Lions.
Ooh, I like this matchup. This is a good matchup. For one, you got Baker Mayfield, who's really hungry to prove pretty much everyone in Cleveland and everyone who doubted him wrong. And that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense is finally starting to click. Okay, Mike Evans, fucking baller. I think he tied the league for receiving touchdowns with 13 with Tyreek Hill, I believe. It's pretty fucking good. Now, if the Lions, though, they get to host their second playoff game in 30 years, 32 years. They haven't hosted a playoff game before this past weekend. They hadn't hosted a playoff game since 1991. Okay. It was their first AFC North title, their first ever playoff home game in the 21st century. And Dan Campbell gives them the dub through, I'd say it's a team effort, right? Jay, that Lions win was a whole team effort. I don't think there was a single like standout. I'd say like the running game was probably the best part about that Lions
Yeah,
team.
I mean,
that Lions
Jamar
offense.
Gibbs, holy shit.
Yeah, Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, those two fucking God, they're scary. That's a scary running back tandem right there.
Oh yeah, and I think being Gibbs' rookie year to have somebody like Montgomery in there. I mean, it must suck for the Bears to see Montgomery do so fucking well with the Lions. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I love seeing shit like that happen.
Okay.
And to say like to talk about being hungry, that whole Lions team is fucking hungry. They've been hungry for like fucking 10 years.
No, they've been hungry
with
longer
Dan
than
Campbell.
that, but still.
No,
like,
but I'm saying with Dan Campbell coming in.
Oh, Dan Campbell, but Campbell's only been the coach since like 21, which by the way, if you want to see something funny, let's go ahead and take a trip down memory lane. This is when Dan Campbell was hired. This is when Dan Campbell was hired by the Detroit Lions, January 2021.
So this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right. And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right. And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
Why are you muted? Are you muted or is it my?
No, sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic.
You had me questioning myself for a second. I'm like, wait, I just heard the fucking thing. What the fuck?
Okay, all right. So here's what I was saying is like, all right, at the time in retrospect, you know, at the time this was a really clunky like press conference answer. Okay, you're like, who is this guy Dan Campbell? What the fuck is he saying? Does he even have like, who the fuck does he think he is, being the coach of the Lions and saying this shit? The Detroit Lions, they're a fucking laughing stock. They are the first team to go 0-16 in any season, winless. The Cleveland Browns did it like maybe like 8 years later, but still, who the fuck did they think they are? Dan Campbell, Radar Life says alpha male. So Jamel Hill in 2021 responds to this tweet saying, this is who black coaches are losing opportunities to. Okay. Jamel Hill, who is, if you're not familiar, she's a former ESPN broadcaster, sports journalist, native of Detroit. If you've seen the documentary Bye Barry Bye about Barry Sanders, she's heavily featured in it. So her Detroit street cred is solid. And then we catch this shit. And Jay, I just have to say, he just gave you your first playoff win in 31, 32 years. And all you had to do was focus on race when he got the job, man.
It's amazing.
Jay, help me out with this one.
I mean, it's just another common Jamil Hill L. I mean, she throws L's on her commentary on sports all the fucking time. She
actually has 3 L's in her name. Like right. Actually phonetically, you know, pronouncing her name, Gem L, like literal L in her name.
Right. And the NFL has produced the most, I mean, sports in America has produced the most black millionaires ever in anywhere, in any of the countries, in any African country. You're not going to find more black
you
millionaires.
Can't find another industry that does that. Maybe the entertainment industry, but it all kind of falls under the same, like under the same domain, right? Art and entertainment. That's what it falls. Sports is entertainment. Okay. Sports would not be, these athletes would not be being paid millions if this shit did not entertain us. If we turned this shit off, you're still running the same issues as before. No one's getting paid shit. They probably don't even have leagues.
Look at the WNBA for instance, because it's not entertaining. They're not going to get paid shit. They're not making any money, so there's not going to happen.
And yet, what they do, you know what they do, Jay, with the WNBA, they actually have a profit sharing plan with the NBA. So the NBA is subsidizing all of the teams on the WNBA because they're not making enough money. It's insane. But none the wiser points out, Carl says also he was hired by a black GM. That's Dan Campbell, hired by a black GM. So pretty insulting of Jamel Hill to basically say, oh, I don't trust another black man's judgment to choose the best coach for our team. Therefore, I'm going to say that this is all racist. What was he? Was the GM supposed to hire someone who was black? Is that what you wanted, Jamel? Even if they weren't
internal racism. It was internal racism by the GM. That's what happened. But that's in this one, even though I'm from Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield is a boomer sooner till he dies, I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions just have a better unit. I think they have a better O-line and offensive players. I think their run game is going to be very hard for the Buccaneers to stop. I don't think the Buccaneers have they played the Lions?
I'm not sure, honestly. I have to.
I don't think they've played the Lions before, so they're going to run into something that they've never.
So one thing I was going to say was that the Buccaneers, while a good team at home, not so great on the road. And Detroit, let's see, did they play the Bucs? I don't know. They have not played the Bucs this season. So, but their road record, I think actually it's, what is it? Oh, actually they're not terrible away, but they're actually not good at home. They're a mediocre 500, so they're just above 500 team for a reason. They lost to the Texans and CJ Stroud, and I think they'll lose to the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions are finally going to have an NFC Championship game that they're going to go to, and I actually think, Jay, they're going to host the Packers.
Yeah, you think they're going to host them?
You're going to get an NFC North, NFC Championship held in Detroit because Green Bay has lower seed than Detroit. And honestly, from that point on, I don't know how the Muslims in Detroit are going to react, but you better cover your towers.
And speaking about terrorists, we got the Bills versus the Chiefs for the last game of that night. And I think I can safe to say that everyone in America is rooting for Bills on that game.
Yeah, I also picked the Bills. They're playing at home.
I picked the Bills as well.
Yeah, they were playing at home. That's something that's different from the last two times they met in the playoffs. They played in Kansas City. It's a very tough environment to win in Arrowhead, but it's also equally as tough to win in Buffalo, especially with how cold it is. So advantage Buffalo. Anyways, Habibis, we're going to wrap up here because we went on way too long, and I'm already getting blown up by a certain someone about being on for too long. So Habibis. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode of BB Power Hour. By the way, before we go, the list tournament is happening right now on Twitter. We're down to our final four. I think the first round is 4 days and 20 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So go to the list comes for all on Twitter /X. Go ahead and get your votes in. I don't know if you have that on hand, can share it, but it doesn't matter. We have some pretty bad candidates. Maybe before we go, I'll show you those really, really awful candidates. Do we do that?
Yeah, we can go ahead and show them the top four right now. Yeah.
All right, we'll show you the top four right this second. So this is the first candidate, Gretchen Felker Martin. She's in the final four. So she tweets out, can pretty safely state that bin Laden and I did not agree on much, but blowing up the World Trade Center and probably the most principled and defensible thing he ever did. She's going up against Hindustani Lion, who tweets out, oh God, I don't even know if I can repeat this out loud.
It's so bad. This was
if you're a
so
girl,
bad.
He tweets out, if you're a girl, your father definitely imagined having a certain something with you as you went through puberty, probably numerous times, and you're delusional if you think otherwise. God damn, that's
oh, that's oh my god,
that's matchup number one. Here's the other matchup in the Final Four. We have BLM Chicago tweeting out the paragliders image with a Palestinian flag saying "I stand with Palestine," and BLM Chicago saying that is all that it is. That is all that is it. And the what's it called? The community note reads, on October 7th, 2023, Hamas terrorists and paragliders attacked a music festival in Israel, killing over 260 people. They're going up against Matthew Rife, who tweets out an image of someone's Holocaust tattoo numbered, saying 6 million. How? Their numbering system only allowed 999,000 at the most. During World War II, if a German mechanic was caught with a hammer in his toolbox, he was put to death. This is because they were a highly detailed people who pride themselves on accuracy. That's who we're up against. So go ahead.
Oh my god,
it's just as bad as you imagined. And with that, Habibis, we bid you adieu. Hope you all have a great rest of your night. I've been Siraj Hashmi.
I've been Jay Kobbe.
Thank you to our producers, Ben Morrissey and Spencer Sachs, who are both fired. Welcome back, Spencer. You piece of shit. We love you. All right. Peace and masalama.
Masalam.